I've got a lot of reaction basing manipulation of the older games are the reason why some people hate the old games. And of course some that love the trial and error stuff in Unleashed. And that's good. That's the fun part of arguments, isn't it? They work both ways. I can't tell you how often I read a review online that downright bashes a game into the ground with some, this game was designed like a horrible 90s action game. And I'm like, hey, I love horrible, stupid 90s action games. And then I end up buying and loving the game. That's the magic of arguments. So I'm just saying, dear audience, don't worry too much about our actual opinions, and let's just focus on the observations here. An opinion is just an opinion, whatever. So anyway, what's next?
Another game that had no idea what it was doing was Sonic Adventure, a very clumsy and borderline experimental game with no clear structure.
Hey, that's my favorite game!
Well, prepare to defend it then. So you have a level in the city and it's nighttime and it's fast. All of a sudden the music ends, then you get in a weird minigames where you're running down the skyscraper. Then awkward silence again while Sonic is stuck in a waiting room. It looks like the kind of place we see in the adventure part of the game. That's really weird. And then it's daylight and you get in a wide open level you can mostly skip and somehow need to know you're supposed to jump into a fountain to end the level. So yeah, it's not consistent, it has no flow. It's like the designers made 3 entirely different levels and somehow tied them together.
I agree, it's a bit awkward. However, to its defense, the awkward silent parts are like a transition. See, that always happens before extreme changes in level or gameplay, so it's kind of warning your brain that something's about to happen. That's why it still works. Awkward silence, whoops, and a snowball section starts. Some awkward silence, well, the adrenaline part is over. Now let's explore a quiet part. They give your brain like beats in order to deal with the sudden changes.
The thing about Sonic Adventure, it wasn't just designed as a new Sonic game, it was an event. The big bad Dreamcast had just come out and had to show the world what the shiny new technology was capable of. Owners of the Dreamcast only had games like Pen Triathlon and such. I like it, but I'm an idiot. It wasn't a showstopper to convince people to come running out for our little grey machine. And in the mid-90s, people were obsessed with virtual reality. And ever since 3D was introduced, developers were more and more interested in leaving the abstract 2D world behind and try to create real life. And of course, later on we got Shenmue, whatever you pronounce it, and Grand Theft Auto 3, and games had been increasingly creating realistic virtual worlds since. So the obsession to create real life is dying down now, so we're embracing weird, colorful 2D worlds again. Nevertheless, Sonic Adventure was made to show us the Dreamcast's power. It wasn't just there to create a new Sonic game, it had to show the future of gaming. This is one of the biggest reasons why they made a jump to a more realistic world. Believe it or not, dear children, but in 1998, seeing a bunch of cars driving around the city in a platform level was amazing. Oh my god, it's like I'm really in New York.
From a game designer's perspective, it's clumsy and amateurish. But well, it was Sonic Team's first real 3D games, beside Burning Rangers and Nights into Dreams. Well, they tried. And as the two of you demonstrated, it's true you can still enjoy an awkward made game. I admit it had its charm, like a B-movie.
Anyway, Sonic Adventure's actual level design. It doesn't have a clear structure like the classical Rush games have. It's more of an idea game. I can just see the level designers sitting around a table going, oh, I have an idea, Cupid Fire. Oh, another idea, Giant Snake. Oh, let's do a rock chase, mirror thing. It's like you have a level segment with some kind of thing going on, a theme. And then you get a transition moment where you get sent through the level with springs or jumps, and then you land into a new segment which has a whole different theme going on. Every segment has a whole new idea, a new aesthetic. It makes it a bit disorientating and chaotic, but also adventurous. You're on an adventure, constantly new things happening. Now, most of those ideas don't really make sense from a gameplay perspective because they don't really challenge you or anything. They're just things that happen. It may seem hypocritical for some Sonic fans to condemn the automatic bits of Unleash or Colors while loving the equally automatic bits from Adventure, but there's a few subtle differences. For one, you still have input in what's happening, and two, they're more clearly designed as standout set pieces that happen rather than feel a genuine part of the gameplay. Whether you prefer the set pieces to be a very deliberate interruption of the level or a true part of the level depends on your personal tastes. I can understand why a game designer like you wouldn't like it very much. Sonic Adventure is more an experience than a pure game. It's weird, but it makes perfectly sense when you keep the context of why it was made in mind.
Carrying on, Sonic 2006. First of all, I'd like to say that
Sonic 2006 is buggy, has horrible loading times, and everyone should hate it.
That said, ignoring the technical issues, let's look at the level design. One thing I noticed, the toughest parts in Sonic 06 are what traditionally were the easiest parts in the older games, the automatic fun parts. Mostly because of the bugs, like being able to control Sonic during cutscenes. Looking at the pure game platform parts, the game's alright.
So, as many have noticed, 2006 tries to be like Adventure 3, but imitating the shape, not the soul. Okay, in Sonic Adventure, characters often share the same level, so some of Sonic's more awkward level segments are usually because they're actually Knuckles levels. In Adventure, they kind of get away with it because the levels are still small and compact and have tons of details for guidance. Most importantly, Knuckles levels do still feel a lot like Sonic levels, as the non-linear open-mindedness usually comes from Knuckles himself, how he moves, rather than the levels, who are still mostly straightforward. In Sonic 2006, not as much. Sonic in Shadow's White Acropolis segment doesn't quite work. Too big, too open, no visual guidance. While the game tries to be like Adventure and has some of those typical experimental ID set pieces, like stopping the train, snowboarding, stuck in a tornado, here they're challenging, last very long and become more dragged out. I don't know, I liked Sonic Adventure because it had a lot of fun and small ideas. Here it's more bloated and therefore has less of a punch. Instead of cute little moments, now they're just the level itself. And yeah, the awkward glitches won't help. Nevertheless, I still really appreciate Sonic 2006 for having moments like these. I was really missing the set pieces and surprises from the more stoic heroes in Shadow. But besides trying to be Adventure 3, 2006 actually seems to be a hybrid between Adventure, Sonic Heroes, and even a little early Unleashed. The levels are usually either focusing on straightforward battles a la Heroes, or are extremely guided platform segments where you have very little impact a la Unleashed. Not to mention those max speed segments could be considered an early attempt for the boosting stuff. It's fascinating, really. Outside of Generations, it's the Sonic game with the most different styles in it. Would have been interesting to see if they could have managed to make a perfect cocktail out of it. The energy of Unleashed, the solidness of Heroes, the creativity of Adventure. Alas, there's only a handful of moments where they hit a nice balance.
So yes, 06 has problems and some questionable decisions, but playing the better few Sonic levels shows an excellent level design. I really wish I could have seen what the game would be like if it was properly finished. There are quite a few good elements. They made the action stages full of eye candies, it's really dynamic and you feel like the actual levels follow the story's logic. It's an extension of the previous cutscene. For example, I really like when you go fast and there's like robots flying around you and they try to shoot you and then they hit a wall and explode. Those things aren't dangerous for real and it increases something about the event. It's not just a passive level with some robots patrolling, it's like they are running after you because they must stop you and boom, they explode because they don't have Sonic's awesome skills. I just like that kind of detail. Storytelling isn't only about cutscenes. Action stages must tell something as well.
You don't like the harmless set pieces in Adventure, but you like them in 2006? Yeah, I hear they're more decoration than focus, I guess. One of those things some people love and some people hate. That's Sonic for you. So, next on the games I promised to talk about. The storybook games. I have a point, I thought, but then when I did research I was wrong. So I have nothing interesting about them to say. Yeah. Well, besides this, I like that it's filled with set pieces and quick situations again, so that makes it feel kinda Sonic Adventure-esque. Well, it would if it could actually explore around and actually control Sonic. Ah, Generations. Fascinating game, especially how Sonic fans react to it. Because of the nostalgia stuff around it, it actually imitates quite a few of the older Sonic gameplay styles. So you get your Unleashed speed, your adventure exploring, etc. They have brought back the playfulness of Adventure 1 with little quick set pieces or eye candy like the gym here and such. I love little details like that. Listening to why people over-hate one level can teach you quite a bit of their tastes. Sonic Generations gives us almost everything we had in the previous games. However, there's a few things missing from the game. One, there's no extremely harsh sucker punches anymore. The game is less about challenge and more about high scores and collectibles. So failing its challenges usually results in you just getting a less cool and less rewarding alternative route. Fair enough. Having multiple paths and rewards is a much better way to keep me coming. So yeah, the game can be very difficult and cheap at times, but only when it comes to S ranks or specific optional missions. And I don't mind those to be extremely tough. That's optional. People obsessed with beating every game 100% must love torture anyway. I am kinda missing the Sega Game Gear references though. They don't even get one song. That kinda sucks. Maybe the skateboard monitor is a reference to Triple Trouble. Now, since I've spent so much time closely investigating how Sonic level designs work, Generations was immensely fascinating to me. Here we can actually look how much Sonic Team themselves understand their own older games. 9 main games are represented, and on the surface, despite the modern levels still mostly playing like an updated Sonic Unleashed, the levels design represent the original games. Green Hill is all about speed, the set pieces of Sonic Adventure are remade and those levels have the most 3D. Sonic Unleashed feels like, well, Unleashed Sonic Colors is Sonic Colors, and that's about it. For those annoyed that Sonic 2006 made it in, rest assured, Crisis City isn't all that interested in Sonic 2006 at all, and just seems like a generic fire level. When I think of Crisis City, I think of skateboarding and lots of grinding. In Generations, they're more interested in fire column things. From which Sonic game is this? I don't remember any Sonic game having stuff like this. Only the max speed section gets a little nod. Besides that, Crisis City might as well have been Red Mountain or Lava Reef Zone, whatever. In that it has lava but no level design elements. And that annoying tornado that keeps nudging Sonic off the ledges. I don't want to sound nitpicky that I keep going, that was in the original game, or not even in any original game at all, but this doesn't seem to be like Sonic at all. No Sonic game that I remember ever created challenge by having annoying things in the foreground so I can't see what I'm doing, or by making Sonic's movements awkward. On purpose! Actually, now I think about it, barely see what's going on, god awful controls. This is a homage to Sonic Secret Rings! Well done. But hey, most people don't care about 06 anyway. Other levels like Heroes do a decent job feeling like the originals, especially with the wide roads and the kart segment. The focus on the battle is gone though, and the 2D segments really feel out of place here. They don't feel like Heroes inspired at all, and don't really do anything, they're just weird annoying interruptions. It feels like they're an obligation rather than a proper part of the level. And then classic Seaside Hill completely drops Sonic Heroes and honors in the water stages instead. Not sure most people wanted that, but I suppose it is part of the Sonic history. But that's nitpicking. Here's a more interesting question. Does Sonic Team even remember how the classic games actually work? Can they actually recreate the level design? So I assume I wasn't the only person. I was annoyed that modern Sonic levels still have 2D segments in them, despite the fact you already have classic Sonic for that. Well, I later thought, wait a minute, this makes sense. Of course. Modern Sonic's 2D segments would honor Sonic Rush, where classic Sonic's 2D segments would honor classic Sonic. That makes sense. However, this was not the case. There's almost no difference between classic Sonic and modern Sonic's 2D segments. So yeah, they do seem to be pointless. So how are they designed? As Sonic Rush? Nope. The 2D segments are very slow paced, not like Rush at all. Although to be fair, when you master the game and take the upper routes, the game does become more like Sonic Rush. So, are they like classic Sonic? Nope. Outside a few moments where they return all the gimmicks, like the Sonic free spin thing, the level designs never made me feel nostalgic. So what are they? Good question. But I'll get back to this later. So, I'm left wondering what Sonic Generations' intent was. Some levels are perfect recreations with almost no creative twist to the original games, like Modern Unleashed, while others, like especially 06 and Heroes, just do their own random thing. Some levels do very smart takes on the original, like Classic City Escape, which is a great take on how the feel, the emotion, the energy of the Dreamcast game would feel in the classic game, while others don't even try. Classic Unleashed does its own thing. If anything, it feels more like the bonus levels of Unleashed than the game proper. Don't get me wrong, I like it. There's some very good set pieces in there. I'm just left wondering why it was designed the way it was. It's not really of how Unleashed philosophy would work on the Genesis, Mega Drive, whatever. So yeah, not always clear if the level was to properly imitate the original, give it a Sonic Unleashed classic game twist, or just an excuse to do something random. You got a level like the modern Planet Wisp, which is an exact recreation of a Sonic Colors level, and then they add something so insane, something so crazy and twisted that it completely turns the concept of the original game on its head, that my brain can't believe it. I mean, wow, a 3D segment where I can actually explore and have fun instead of a stupid pointless 10-second minigame? Madness! But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, the 3DS version. The game is nothing but 2D gameplay, so surely they differentiate between classic and modern Sonic? Yes? So it's made by Dimps, the team who made Sonic Rush. So obviously the modern Sonic levels play like proper Sonic Rush levels. How about classic Sonic? Well, play Green Hills, Casino Night or Mushroom Hill, and you'll find they resemble the old levels. A lot. Extremely lot. In fact, they are literal remakes of the first act of each of the original zones to the detail. Well, that's cheating. And in case you're wondering, nope. Water Palace is not a direct remake of the original Rush level, for both classic or modern. But then we get to Sonic Adventure and oops, there's no classic Sonic games for Dims to remake, so they actually have to make a brand new classic level. So then, well, classic Sonic just becomes a slightly slower and slightly more compact Sonic Rush. Yeah. Hey Dims, if you can't recreate classic Sonic level design, why not hire the team who made Sonic 4? Physics of that game were off, but they did a great job in recreating Sonic 3 and Knuckles level design. How was that studio who made Sonic 4 called again? Alright, Dims. Weird. Non-stop death pads below you? Psst, Dims. Classic games never did that. They only used death pits in specific set pieces, never as random elements through the whole level. Instant death dangers randomly popping up without warning? Yeah, that's Sonic Rush style. Oh look, it's even our friend Trick Your Brain, where the game makes you jump quickly over crates for over a minute and then randomly puts a spring there, which you need to survive to the next bit, so you probably kill yourself. Ah. Ooh, instantly introducing me to a new gimmick where one mistake will immediately kill me. Yeah, that's not how the classic games were designed.
I'd like to make a statement about Sonic Generations' final boss.
Oh, the console version.
This is not about level design, but about feedback. Okay, in Sonic and Knuckles, the final boss, you're Super Sonic flying around final boss with missiles flying at you. The missile hits you, you clearly see Sonic falling back and losing track of the boss. The missiles clearly follow you, lure them into this part of the boss, and the missiles hit him. You can see what's happening. When things happens, you get feedback. Sonic is hit, he falls back. Missiles gets into the ledge of the boss, you hear an explosion and the boss flashes, you hit it, it's feedback. You see things happening, your brain makes connections, and you figure out a strategy how you can use your skills to use your observation you made into defeating the boss. There's a complicating term, a complex bit of game development jargon that explains this phenomenon. It's called playing the damn game. So, in Sonic Generations, there's stuff on screen, lots of stuff. Purple, yellow, you have no sense of space. Where am I compared to the boss? In Sonic and Knuckles, here's the boss. Here is me. In Sonic Adventure, you see buildings fly by, the boss comes closer, I'm here, the boss is there. I need to go there, so you go there. Space. In Sonic Generations, I'm flying, stuff flying at me. The boss keeps teleporting back and forth. I have no control over what happens. Am I getting closer, or is it's just the background? What did I do to suddenly be in a position to hit him? Oh! I must get him. I almost got him. Look! I almost he flies away. What did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? Someone? What's happening? Why is he further ahead all of a sudden? Give me feedback! I have no idea what I'm doing and why the things that happen. You hit the boss and get a spectacular cutscene of Sonic spinning and doing amazing things. And that just annoys me. I want to see a cool cutscene if I did something cool. I race towards Chaos and hit him with full power so I get a cool cutscene. Boom! Yeah! I totally hit that bastard! But here, yay. I hit the boss because purple things, whatever. It's just dumb.
Lame ending to a further incredible game. Well, that concludes all the main Sonic games and the games we had something to say about. See you all next time, and
What about Sonic Colors?
so it's been a great time and we hope to...
Don't we have anything for Sonic Colors? That's a main Sonic game.
Yes. Phase 5, Sonic Colors. Next time.